while you're on the phone.
No, it's okay. You don't have to.
Well, no, I'm already live.
Okay. This is my food.
What? Baby? You there?
I have green beans.
You have green beans?
Yes, we pulled pork.
Well, that sounds good.
Yeah, it's from the same barbecue place we had at the wedding.
Oh, nice. Their food was really good.
Yeah, you see, I have your shirt.
Ah, Bucket, stop. Stop. Ow, 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 ow. He's underneath the desk and he's clawing at my feet. Ow! Ah, damn it, he bit me. Again! You little... Stop! Okay, I better focus on the stream, baby. We've been live for a minute now. I love you.
I love you too.
All right, have fun on your trip.
I will. Bye.
Bye, baby. Okay, sorry, everybody. Yeah, we got... I have a wife. We got married. She's eating food from the barbecue place that did the catering for us. So anyways, guys, how y'all doing tonight? So it should be a fun stream, okay? I've watched the Bo Black's video twice now to try to get as much context as I can. And before we watch it, a couple quick things about our uploads tomorrow, right? I'm going to apologize for not getting any uploads in on, any done yesterday. My lack of sleep finally caught up to me and just murdered me, right? I sat down on the couch, I rested my head, and I just knocked the hell out, right? I didn't wake up. I was out of it until like 9 o'clock, and by the time I did get up, I was completely groggy. I was struggled to do anything at all. Augie blocked me for saying, imagine acting as if 38.2K subs isn't a small YouTuber. Well, I mean, yeah. That's the thing. Like, it's still small. Like, it's larger than me, though. Right? It's significantly larger than me. But yeah, no, I mean, look, even like what 50K? Like, I guess when you reach like 100,000, I guess you could say that's a large YouTuber. But I mean, it's something. It's not nothing. But yeah, like I don't know what you would classify as being like a small YouTuber. Like, what's your standard for that? But yeah, I mean, like I would hope to be at that many subs someday, but I would still acknowledge that even when I get there, it's still a small sub count in like the grand scheme of YouTube, right? Where you have channels that have like literally millions of subscribers. It's still it's pretty decent, I would say. I don't think there's any reason to get all upset about something like that. Tonight we talk about Grift Hansen. Yep. I want to actually, before we begin, what's this, Ty? So now that you and Jazz are married, when are we gonna expect some hatchlings? Oh, dude, don't. We're already working on it. Edgelord, how goes your evening? It's okay. I'm pretty tired from work, to be honest with you. But I'm doing okay. So tomorrow's videos, I have a video talking about Chuckle Sandwich. And for those of you who are not aware of what Chuckle Sandwich is, it is a podcast being hosted by three of the people that were former friends of Call Me Carson that made statements about Carson this month, who have now decided to get together and launch a podcast together, which I just find absolutely adorable and cute on every single level. And I was reading through a couple of their responses. It was like one thing like really raised some like serious red flags on top of them, suddenly getting together for this podcast and all. But I got a video going up about that. I think it's like 9 minutes long. And then I have another video, which I think is also about 9 minutes long, talking about Wall Street Bets. And for those of you who are unaware, Wall Street Bets is like a collection of Redditors, right? Who have all gotten together and decided to manipulate the stock market. I guess is the best way of putting it. It sounds a little bit more nefarious than it is, but what they see is like, you have hedge funds who will go in, convince people to sell stock, right? And then short a stock, right? So they do it with a bunch of companies. Apparently they tried doing it with Tesla at one point. But it causes a lot of harm. It causes these companies to lose a lot of money. But then when the stocks are in the tank, these hedge fund managers then go in and they buy the stock when it's really, really, really dirt cheap. And they make a killing when it bounces back. So this group of people on Reddit decided when they saw them doing that with, AMC and GameStop, that they were going to put all their money into buying GameStop and AMC stocks, which caused those stocks to skyrocket and caused those hedge fund managers to lose millions. And it got to the point where the hedge fund managers lost their shit to the point where they reached out to the Federal Exchange and got them to stop trading, which is nuts. That's like, seriously, it's like you're losing a video game. So you take your fucking console and you just like slam it into the ground so nobody can play anymore. It is fucking hilarious. I have a video going up on it. I'll probably do that one at like 10 tomorrow. And the other video will launch at like 12, which I think is a good time for it. But yeah. I heard that AMC took advantage of the surge price moment and sold 300 million of their stock. Good for them. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, they lost billions of dollars. Thank you, Grim. It is a hilarious situation. But you want, it got to the point where you had, gosh, how do I say this? People, they were asking questions about this to the press secretary for the White House. CNN wrote this insane fucking article about it, saying Trump is to blame for it. What else? The subreddit where these guys were organizing got shut down for like a day, right? Not a whole day, but I want to say probably 8 to 10 hours, if I'm not mistaken. But they shut down the subreddit where these guys were meeting. And I'm just like, the absolute hell. You're telling me that a group of people on Reddit, right? A random group of people on Reddit who all got together, right, to fuck with hedge fund managers, created such an uproar that they got their subreddit shut down. They had the White House taking questions about them, right? They have CNN writing insane fucking articles blaming Trump for everything because, that's the boogeyman, right? And then they actually got the Federal Stock Exchange shut down for a day. That is absolutely insane. Okay, so I got a video coming up about it. If you're unaware of the situation, I'm pretty sure you're gonna enjoy it. It's absolutely hilarious. Yes, it's Trumpism to blame. Yes, 100%. They should be writing articles on Pelosi or nonsense. Well, so was it Tim Pool, I think? Maybe? Somebody, I'm trying to remember who, but they were saying that Nancy Pelosi apparently bought a bunch of stock in electric cars, right? Or electric car manufacturers. And then the Biden administration announced that they were going to be buying a fleet of electric vehicles for their administration. So they're like, huh. I mean, it's not like it's a bad stock to invest in, but come on. She buys it right before this announcement. It's weird, right? It's weird. Okay, so anyways, let's not talk too much about the politics of it. Only to say that people on the left and the right are fully supporting Wall Street bets, which is crazy, right? You have fucking Cassandra Fairbanks, who's really, really far to the right. And you have Anna Kasparian, who's a host of the Young Turks. And they're in agreement with each other, which is something I never thought I would see. That's what I never thought I would see. Okay, so let's go into the reason why we are all here. Now, before I play this video, I want to be clear about something, right? This video, unfortunately, does not definitively prove anything. Now, it presents some of the best circumstantial evidence, and there is a ton of circumstantial evidence. And the fact of the matter is, I think people have been convicted of crimes with far less evidence than what is presented in this video. However, there's nothing definitive. I just want to be as clear as I can before we jump into it, right? But I love the young turd. Shipped Hansen. Chris Hansen's mugshot makes him look like a high school gym teacher. Jesus Christ. Doesn't the MSM ever get tired of blaming the president outside their ideological standing for every so-called indignation? Well, no, the former president, Ty. So you're wrong. All right, let's Chris Hansen, Jesus. All right, let's go into it. Let's play the video.
Online harassment is something that almost every online creator experiences to varying degrees. From spamming to swatting, people have to deal with this every single day. But never did I think that my series on former To Catch a Predator host and NBC journalist Chris Hansen...
What? Oh, come on. Let me have a little bit of fun. I like the intro because he sets a really good mood with it. And that's really important.
Would result in some of the most aggressive harassment that I have ever experienced. A few months ago, dark internet YouTuber Nexpo created an in-depth video into an individual named Amanda that had harassed him and many other creators, including Some Ordinary Gamers, Lobby Lane, Mama Max, and Night Dogs. She spammed their replies on Twitter using multiple accounts, claiming the most degenerate things about them.
Okay, so I didn't know anything about this situation at all. Hey, at Chris. All right, so let me explain what this video is trying to do, right? And I think it does an excellent job at it. It shows that there is a very, 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 very clear connection between Chris Hansen and Anonymous Gene. And what I mean by clear connection, I mean when Anonymous Gene does something, Chris Hansen tends to react to it, right? By react to it, I don't mean he makes a statement condemning Anonymous Gene because he has done that before. I mean, Anonymous Gene will start tweeting at Jack Dorsey's mom. And then Chris Hansen will start tweeting at Jack Dorsey's mom. Anonymous Gene will do something and Chris Hansen will do something similar, right? It shows a very clear connection between when Anonymous Gene does something and then Chris Hansen does something in turn. Now, does it prove that these two are communicating with each other? Well, it does prove that there was a phone call and that Anonymous Gene is saved in Chris Hansen's cell phone, and then Anonymous Gene has Chris Hansen's phone number, and that Chris Hansen talks to Anonymous Gene. It does show that, but yeah, we got to be very clear and careful about what we say has been definitively proven. But there's a ton of circumstantial evidence going on about this. What is this? What is this? I fucking thought that was in the video. Oh. Sorry, I just ate dinner. Because he calls himself Anon Gene. I mean, Anonymous Gene just sounds better, but I can call him A Gene. Do you think he's going to be able to come out unshaved by this, Chris? Or do you think he's going to be completely destroyed? Johnny, let me be very clear. Chris Hansen is absolutely going to get away with this. Unless something actually definitive comes through, right? Here's what I think is going to happen. Chris Hansen will get out of this just fine because he is just far away enough removed from this situation, right? And there's nothing completely definitive to prove it, that the loyalists of Chris Hansen are going to sit there and defend his actions no matter what, right? However, the person I think this video absolutely is just a a killing shot at is Anonymous Gene, right? Because while we can point to Chris Hansen, Anonymous Gene is the one directly doing these actions, right? He's creating a ton of chaos. He's pissing off major channels and millions of people, right? All in his efforts to stand Chris Hansen. So what I think is going to happen is you're going to find yourself in a situation in which Anonymous Gene pisses off the entire community to the point that somebody is able to find out who Anonymous Gene is. We've already seen that he's made mistakes before. So when somebody finds out who Anonymous Gene is, that's when I think shit hits the fan. Because if that person who is doing all this stuff then reveals their communications with Chris Hansen, it becomes an absolute bloodbath. But until that happens, I think Chris Hansen gets out of this stuff completely unscathed. Gene blocks me every damn time he makes a new account. Well, yeah, because, and don't take this the wrong way, Grim, you're not important to the situation. He doesn't want to deal with trolls. He doesn't want to deal with people calling him out. He wants to harass these large channels that he feels are harmful to Chris Hansen. That's his goal. So if you or I talk to him, we'll just get blocked immediately because we're irrelevant in this whole power struggle going on with this idiot, right? You only need a hacker to go after Gene and expose him. I have it on some authority that there is someone that has been working to expose Anonymous Gene, but I don't know what's come of it. I just know that very, very many people are interested in seeing Anonymous Gene be completely exposed to the point where I think that if he was exposed, right, if Anonymous Gene got doxxed, people would just go out there and run with that information and wouldn't care at all. And why would they? Anonymous Gene has doxed a 15-year-old girl, right, to take shots at John Swan. I think when you do that, you opened yourself up to some absolutely like malicious behavior being directed your way. And all of it, I think you've absolutely freaking earned. Anonymous Gene is Vincent? No. Anonymous Gene screwed hardcore with Vincent. Like hardcore screwed with Vincent. Also, Anonymous Gene is good friends, or at least a very, very, very big supporter of Chris Hansen. And Vincent Nicotra hates Chris Hansen. Gene is very similar to Vince, and maybe the reason Hansen doesn't want the truth getting out is because he never really dropped him. I don't think he did. People who dox for malicious or pre-purpose lose sympathy when they get doxed. Just saying. I agree, Aura. Now, where are you? You youngins don't understand the rules of the internet. True. Isn't he working with Chris? Anonymous Gene is doing things that benefit Chris Hansen is the best way of saying it. Anyways, Anon Gene dox Vincent, exactly. Maybe. I think it's more of a situation of the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I doubt Chris Hansen feels any sort of loyalty to Anonymous Gene, but Anonymous Gene screws with all the people that have taken shots at Chris Hansen. That's got to be important to him. Though I think Chris will not be destroyed. He won't be able to keep above the water because of his dock, and this karma and destruction will be coming to Hansen someday soon. Eventually, yeah, I think everyone gets their just desserts. So we'll definitely see.
That you could possibly imagine. The video was a success, and it was a massive inspiration for me to come forward with my story as well. Ever since I've been critical of Chris Hansen, probably around May, an unhinged figure has found his way into my replies. His name? Anonymous Gene. In the past, he had, and I believe...
I gotta say, and I know I'm interrupting a lot, so much credit for the amount of effort that he puts into the edits in this video, right? This was well put together. This has perfect production quality, production value, high quality. It's just really good. And I absolutely love it.
Is still working directly with Chris Hansen, informing him of anyone critical of him, feeding him false information, and even directly telling him who to block on Twitter. Every day, from the moment he awakes to the moment he goes to bed, he sits on his computer, setting up spam bots, engaging in doxing and harassment, and constantly stalking me and others online. Anything we do is noticed. And as you will find out today, Chris Hansen notices it too. It appears that Hansen turns a blind eye to the abhorrent harassment and doxing of me and many others, even when carried out by people he directly engages with. His silence and refusal to condemn the behavior of people like Gene is completely irresponsible. And today, it's time we hold him accountable as we explore the files of Anonymous Gene.
Okay, that intro was really good. I loved it. That was great, right? The flip photo jam is TV worthy. It is. Hey, I watched the Anisian documentary. This video has way more effort put into it than that fucking documentary does. Way more effort put into it. I know I'm fangirling a little bit. It's just I'm a fan of good production value, right? And you can tell that there is a lot of care put into this video. I know. I gotta focus on what the video is about. But you gotta admit, it is phenomenal. Thank you. You gonna watch the whole thing, or you got timestamps? We're playing the whole thing through, although I might skip through any more segments that are just music playing. It's just I had to go through that intro. It was that good. All right, so Chase Swan does have good editing skills. Dramatary, not his niche. Yeah, I saw what you said, where you think he'd do better if he wasn't a drama/commentary channel. I don't know. I think he could do whatever type of content he wants, and he's got the skills to really make it good. I think 100%. Mama Max has better production. You should check it out. I'm going to check it out. I'll check it out.
Okay, let's start at the beginning. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you would know about my series of videos on Chris Hansen. But if you haven't been a long-time follower on Twitter, you wouldn't know that I've actually been critical of Hansen long before that. In fact, my skepticism of Hansen started in January of last year when he knocked on Onision's door.
911, what are you reporting?
Hi, there's a person who's been stalking me online, and they just showed up to my house.
Okay, and they're outside now?
Yes, they're knocking on my door.
Okay.
They have a bunch of camera people,
Alpharus.
like they're YouTube stalkers.
And the one that's knocking on your door, is he the main one that you said has been stalking you?
Yes, he's a stalker. He's yelling things at me through the door right now.
Okay, and what do we know his name?
The anonymous account on Twitter.
It's
Yeah,
Chris Hansen.
It's
In my
pretty
opinion,
cringe.
this seemed like a publicity stunt, and I turned out to be correct months later. You can watch my second Hansen video for more info on that, but I digress. Ever since that moment, I noticed a rather unhinged account lurking around the Hansen circles, named Anonymous Gene.
Gene versus Anisian. 38 following, 14 followers. Followed by Chris Hansen. You gotta admit, like 14 followers and one of them was Chris Hansen. I don't know. I get, again, just circumstantial shit, but it's still weird. Now, when he's referring to the publicity stunt, some people pointed out that they feel that the reason why Chris Hansen went to Onision's place was specifically so they could put it in the documentary. I don't know how true that is, but I do think it's kind of relevant to point that out. Virgin Discovery versus Chad Swan. It's good. Jason strikes me more as a criminal / serial killer docu-type with his editing skills. I think he'd be great at it, honestly. Chris Hansen. My mom got excited about the documentary because my sis and I have filled her in on the Onision story, but I warned her about Hansen's mess and the shady crap A-Sarch and co got into. I don't know if you guys saw it, but A-Sarch was like on Twitter bitching about how Ninja didn't want to do an interview with him because he didn't trust him. And I'm just going like, well, duh, you idiot. Nobody should fucking trust you. It's like one Chris Hansen follows is equal to 1,000 followers. It's just weird, man. It's just fucking weird. IMO, Onision outwitted Hansen. It's the predator that got away. Damn. Alpha Russ, you're a member of the channel? I see the green. Thank you. Okay, let's keep going.
He rebranded a few times due to him being suspended, but Gene usually had a Guy Fawkes profile pic with some corny bio about him coming after Onision. This Gene character seemed to have a rather unnatural devotion to Chris Hansen, and over time, I started to find out why. Gene started to engage in some pretty insane levels of online harassment, past the usual trolling and spamming that's pretty common in the anti-Onision community. And it all started when he publicly posted Onision's phone number and address on Twitter. I'm of the opinion that doxing is almost never justified because it can impact not only the intended target, but their children, siblings, parents, and other family members as well. People online can get pretty crazy, and Gene is a perfect example. He decided that posting Onision's address and phone number wasn't enough, so he turned his attention to his family members and doxed Onision's mother, father, sisters, and grandfather, people who had absolutely nothing to do with Onision and who have no public presence other than Onision's mother. When I went to Gene's account to find out some more about him, he had also linked a Google document full of other resources, including more doxers, Facebook groups from Onision's area to post about him in, and a full comprehensive guide on how to submit false copyright strikes to Onision.
Okay, so here's the problem. And this is why I said you got to treat everybody by the same rules. I have a feeling, right, that the reason why Anonymous Gene was able to do this shit is because nobody really wants to stop anybody that's standing against Onision. Like, Onision is that big of a monster that you allowed another monster to basically set up and do all this wicked, nasty shit, which, because he was so successful doing it to Onision and nobody stopped it when it was going on, he's now directing that towards other individuals, right? This is why if you see bad behavior, even if it's directed at someone that you don't like, right, you shouldn't be okay with it. Onion Boy is a bitch, but his family doesn't deserve it. I completely agree. Sins of the father never ends well. Ty, Stephen A. Sarch is a piss poor journalist with shitty journalistic integrity. 100%. Oh, by the way, I saw Sen tweet about this, or tweet about it. I saw Sen made a community post. Pyrocynical is back. He's doing content again. So, you know, kind of nice to see, right? I think that took, 3 months to come back? I'm kind of wondering when we're going to see Call Me Carson come back.
Sion's channel. Yes, you heard me correctly. Gene basically created a guide on how to commit perjury. It was at this point where I started to do a bit of digging into who Gene was and his connection to Chris Hansen. Before all of the news broke about Hansen knocking on Onision's door, there was a low-quality video leaked of Chris Hansen outside Onision's house.
Harbor, Washington. We've been on his trail for the last day or so. He knows we want to talk to him. I knocked on the door. I heard his voice. I heard Kai. They called the sheriff's department. The deputies now responded. They're talking to him now. The sheriff's department car showing up here. We explained what we were doing. They didn't seem to have a problem. on with it, except there was a complaint, so they're taking the report now. The sheriff did tell us that there was a mail call or indicating Greg was in there. I'm pretty sure I heard Greg's voice calling the police. Anyway, we're going to talk to the other sheriff's deputy.
This clip, as you can probably tell, was filmed on a phone, videoing a Google Voice window on a computer screen. In the corner, we can see a few digits of Chris Hansen's phone number. Obviously, I've blurred them out here for security reasons, but this will be useful later, so keep it in mind. This clip was originally leaked by Onision detractor account Big Money Onision, along with 3 other...
Big Money Onision is an absolute fucking clown, right? And anytime I see him get brought up, it's always him being an absolute fucking clown, right? I don't know if anyone knows this man, likes this man, but anytime I see his name get brought up, I see him appear in any video, right? I see him appear in the documentary about Onision. This man comes across as an absolute clown. You have that phone number, Grim? Why do you have it? Why do you have it? Gene wants the onion soup. Jesus.
Other screenshots of a public records request and alleged texts between Chris Hansen and none other than anonymous Gene. It came out months later that Gene was indeed the source of the clip, and that he gave it to Big Money Onision for it to leak. So it looks like Gene has direct contact with Chris Hansen, working with him directly on the Onision case. But all the connections didn't stop there. Chris Hansen publicly followed Gene's account on Twitter and even interacted with him directly, with Gene responding that it was always a pleasure working with Chris. It was then when my former colleague Josh Pescator took to Chris Hansen's official Facebook page to ask if Gene was working with Chris Hansen. Hansen replied that he was worked with and not for, basically confirming everything that I had suspected all along. Gene also leaked text messages of Hansen talking with his former assistant, Vincent Nkocha, who went off the rails, as well as an alleged conversation with Chris prior to the messages being leaked out. This was just the start of many...
So, okay, this is what I'm saying about him being just far enough removed from the conversation to get away with this stuff, right? He's just far away enough removed from the conversation to get away with what anonymous Gene does, right? Because Chris Hansen can just say, look, I've said I don't support anonymous Gene's actions. Meanwhile, anonymous Gene is going out and targeting all of Chris Hansen's critics. Yeah, does it look suspicious? Absolutely. But unless you can prove that Chris Hansen is in direct communication with Gene and the nature of these conversations, this is why I think he gets to weasel his way around this shit, which is why I think the most important thing is figuring out who anonymous Gene actually is, right? Because whoever that individual is, that's the one you need to talk to, right? Whether that be, eventually I think that he is going to get doxxed. Eventually I think someone is going to find out who that individual is and leak out their personal information the way anonymous Gene has done to several people. Or potentially anonymous Gene feeling all high up on their bullshit and believing that they've basically saved the fucking world, will seek to get credit for their actions and reveal themselves naturally. I don't know. I'm just saying one of those things is going to happen. When it does, I think then we'll get more information on what Chris Hansen knew, when he knew it, and what he was actually telling Gene to do.
Any conversations that Gene would leak between Hansen and himself, talking about various topics, but mainly about Vincent. But what was leaked next would confirm everything that I had suspected. On the 1st of February, Gene would leak this screenshot on Twitter. The original tweet that this was accompanied with has been lost to time, but we have the full resolution screenshot here to look over. Now, if you're not aware, on Google Voice, the number of the person you're talking to shows in the address bar of your browser. In previous screenshots, Gene made sure to censor this out so that he didn't leak Hansen's number. But Gene isn't the smartest guy, and forgot to censor the number on this one specific instance. This number linked up with the last few digits we saw in the leaked video we mentioned earlier, and I confirmed with several people behind the scenes that this is indeed the real number of Chris Hansen. And if you look it up on a service like Spy Dialer, it says the number belongs to none other than Christopher Hansen.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Due to Gene's carelessness, we found a direct and undeniable link between Hansen and anonymous Gene. The same Gene engaging in doxing Onision's extended family, creating guides on how to falsely copyright strike him, and just generally carrying out targeted harassment campaigns to anyone critical of Chris Hansen. But little did we know, the worst was about to come.
Now here's the thing, right? And I'm War on Corruption. Thank you so much for becoming a member. This is the thing I want to point out to people, right? And this is not me defending this individual at all, right? Just to understand what I'm saying here. Chris Hansen could easily make the statement that I didn't realize the stuff Gene was doing. Since then, I've condemned his actions. We are not in communication with each other. Hasta la vista, right? Like, he still has a defense to what you're claiming, right? That's the issue with all of this, right? I don't think that this... I think it's very good circumstantial evidence. I think it's proof that at one time these two were communicating with each other. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I think John Swan absolutely establishes things between Chris Hansen and anonymous Gene. I'm just pointing out when people ask me, like, do you think this is the end for Chris Hansen? No, I don't, because he has a loyal fan base that will defend his actions and will look for any reason to excuse his bad behavior.
For a few months, Gene would stay mostly quiet because for the most part, I had gotten bored with the Onision and Chris Hansen story. However, over time, I started to realize that there was so much more in Chris Hansen's past that had not yet been properly reported on. And that, along with Nicholas Diorio's video series on Hansen, inspired me to create my own. My first video was published on the 21st of June, and it was a massive success. But not everyone was happy about it.
Okay, so let me just read this. But I don't just dox on Twitter. I do it everywhere. How you think I ran Greg off Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Slug ran him off Discord? Oh, come on. Slug doesn't do shit to people. Wait, Anonymous Gene and Slug, are they working together? I am curious there, right? Because think about that, right? Anonymous Gene and Slug working together when Slug is saying that he watches CP and spreads those links to people because it doesn't matter. Pedos are going to get it anyways. I'm just saying that's highly suspicious. We'll do the same thing to John Swan, and not a damn thing he can do about it. Won't be long. John will be shoving. Wow. I wait until I start doxing John. Well, okay.
And this is where the real shit begins. The day after my video's release, Anonymous Gene attempted to submit a copyright strike on my video, impersonating as Onision. In a complete turn of events, Onision himself stepped in, told YouTube he was being impersonated, and stopped my video from going down. Probably one of the only good things he's ever done. He shared the full notice to Nicholas Diorio, who tweeted it out, showing that the video attempting to be taken down was indeed my video.
Just to be clear, I'm not saying Chris Hansen requested this to go down. However, this is what happens when you work with unpaid internet doxers, with an anonymous profile pic. There's no one else to blame. People have been warning you for months. Vincent too.
It was also around this time that Hansen's mods, and subsequently Hansen, were being actively warned about.
Hansen needs to drop Gene like ASAP. Gene is his own beast, and AFK isn't receiving instruction, as far as I know, isn't receiving instructions from Chris. That being said, follow up on Blank's stream. Their stream is now private, no longer on his channel. Blank has been notified. Gene's already confirmed via 2 ways that he's still working with Chris, so they're very much involved with each other still. As for the stream of Blank, I appreciate the update. Thank you. Purely speculation off the record, I believe Vincent brought Gene in, and he's just refused to leave. We have evidence from several months ago, end of last year, I believe, that Vincent was contacted by hackers claiming to be anonymous. We have addressed the Gene issue many times. I know he has been told to stop behaving like a rabid monster, doxing everyone. What he chooses to do is on his shoulders alone, and no problem. Okay, well, no, I mean, I would disagree with that statement entirely. If, he's doing these things and you told him to stop and he just keeps doing them, you can't then say like, oh, well, we told him to stop, so we're free and clear of it. I mean, no, he's still doing them. I mean, that's a nice way of like walking away from a situation with your hands held up. But yeah, I let's say it works that way, right? Vincent brings him in, right? Then he refuses to leave, but he's still doing things that only benefit Chris Hansen. And I don't know, man. I don't buy it.
Gene. They claim that Gene does whatever he wants, and what he does is on his shoulders alone, basically negating any responsibility that Hansen could possibly have. This month, Gene doxed my former associate Josh Pescator, making accounts impersonating his sisters and mother. It's at this time where Gene started to up the ante, threatening me with my dox unless I remove my Hansen video. Throughout this time, Gene was still leaking text messages between him and Hansen, once again very carelessly with the phone number still showing in the address bar. Chris Hansen, why do you continue to work with this individual, and why do you not look at his actions, disavow those actions, and make sure you don't work with him in the future? You are working with a person who publishes doxes of innocent people and working with a person that is threatening to dox me. Chris Hansen, I hope I get a response from you regarding this, because this is pretty serious stuff, and I can't believe that you would continue to work with this person. I have it on good authority that your mods have actually asked you to stop working with Gene, but you refuse to do so. Hopefully I get a response here.
Over the weekend, some harsh criticism. Not going to engage. Just going to keep pushing on and do what I do, which is pursue justice for predators of all kinds, let the voice of victims be heard, and go after the kinds of stories that I think are important. I've said this before, I'm not your typical YouTuber. I'm a reporter with a presence on YouTube, and I do the best I can. In the meantime, I want to make something very, very clear. I do not condone harassment or doxing of any sort. I've been the victim of vicious doxing and harassment recently. It's the subject of a criminal investigation. More on that soon. But anybody who says they represent me and engages in this kind of behavior doesn't represent me. Not at all.
On the 6th of July, this screenshot was leaked by journalist and producer of the Onision documentary, Stephen Asarge. What you're looking at is a screenshot from Chris Hansen's phone, showing his most frequent contacts. According to this screenshot, Hansen talks to Gene more than his own sons. Asarge gave me some more context to this screenshot a few days ago, saying it was sent to him by Vincent Nkotra, Chris Hansen's former assistant. Chris was trying to screenshot something else entirely, but he sent the wrong image by mistake, revealing his most frequent contacts.
Yeah, see, that one's good, right? Because, if your most frequent contact is anonymous Gene over your own family, it tells me that you got a bit of a problem, right? It tells me you've got just a bit of a problem. The owner of Kiwi Farms Dorb is better as a hacker than Gene. I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyone else hear a crow in the background of Hansen's video? Don't trust anything from Vincent. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I agree with you on that one. I do agree with you on that one. But It is a screenshot from Chris Hansen's phone, and Chris Hansen's also an idiot, so it doesn't actually surprise me. His family just owned him, and he keeps harassing them. Yep.
This was just one more piece in the puzzle to proving Hansen's connection to G. This month would also start a massive spamming and targeted harassment campaign against me, with Gene claiming that I bought and purchased my subscribers and engagement on both Twitter and YouTube. He used screenshots of my sudden growth to try and prove that I botted my YouTube subscribers, completely negating the fact that this is what happens when a video does particularly well in the algorithm. This happens to channels every single day. It's nothing new, and it absolutely does not mean that someone is botting their engagement. In fact, to make it look convincing, I would not only have to bot my YouTube subscribers, but views, likes, comments, and even live stream viewers, all using some insane AI that can detect speech and comment coherent things related to the topic at hand. It's just impossible. There is no conceivable way that I could bot 120,000 subscribers and have no one notice. And that's negating the fact that it would literally cost me thousands and thousands of dollars a month to keep everything running. Gene would also turn his attention to my Twitter account, claiming that I also bot my followers and engagement. He used a tool called Botometer that scans accounts and uses its own algorithm to determine if accounts are likely bots or not.
Now, I gotta admit, out of everything in this video, I guess this does help out his point that Anonymous Gene's a liar, but I kind of feel like this shouldn't be in this video because I don't think it really addresses anything between Anonymous Gene and Chris Hansen. I think it's more about, John Swan defending himself from a claim by Anonymous Gene, and I really don't feel like there's a point to doing that here because nobody believes anything that comes out of Gene's mouth is accurate. And everyone kind of sees the guy as a scumbag for the fucking shit that he pulls on people, right? So why is John Swan wasting time in his video to address this? Yeah, it's a little off topic, I guess is the best way of putting it. It's a little off topic with what's going on. But, let's, let me see here. If there's a way I can, skip ahead.
List of stock accounts and continual harassment accounts to be removed, where my account was listed along with many others. The actual
Sorry, let me go through that.
List of stock accounts and continual harassment accounts to be removed, where my account was...
Okay, so you got John Swan, Boblax, Pescator, A-Star, Diorio, Anisian Prime, Anisian Speaks, Creepshow Art. I don't know who Zed is. Inverse Daniel, know that person. Lucky Phil. Oh, Lucky Phil, what are you doing? Sounds German, not familiar with that person. Amanda Rosali, not familiar with that person. Tommy C, Augie, Tipster, who is on a different account altogether now. John Swan's account, Quartering, Speaks channel, don't know, and no, bro. It's basically everybody who does commentary. Everybody who does commentary. That's the target. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay, so let's keep going.
Is listed along with many others. The actual list is lost to time, but it was about 3 pages of accounts, all critical of Chris Hansen. On the 31st of July, 2020, at 5:44 p.m., an email hit my inbox. A minute later, I received 2 more. Every single one of my accounts have been suspended for violating Twitter's rules against platform manipulation and spam. This was all clearly a mistake. I never botted my engagement, and I never will. This ban was completely false and unjustified, and it all came just 2 weeks after Gene was parading around telling me I was going to be getting suspended. And everyone's eyes went straight to Chris Hansen. People started to do some digging into what contacts Hansen might have at Twitter, and something rather interesting came up. But hold on. First, we need to go back.
Recently, you might have noticed a glut of large Twitter accounts suddenly being suspended. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll probably recognize some of these accounts because I retweet them a lot because I find them funny. Lame as Chris appealed his suspension, and after waiting days with no response, he decided to start looking into what was going on here. After Lame as Chris was suspended, a Twitter account named Spazio Twat tweeted a screenshot of a Rudy Mustang tweet. In the tweet, Rudy's lamenting the deletion of Lame as Chris and Cordell. And in Spazio's tweet, he refers to them as being known cheaters who are manipulating the system
don't
to
do
fake
that.
their popularity. Spazio thinks that these accounts are
Wing's
faking
awesome.
their engagement to appear more popular than
don't
they
clip
really
that.
are. But at this point, that's whatever, right? I mean, it's Twitter. People talk shit on Twitter, especially people who are salty because they're not as popular as they think they deserve to be. But what's a bigger deal is the fact that you can see that this guy goes around reporting people, and everyone he reports seems to get suspended like that. He literally never...
Okay, so this is a part of the video I found really interesting. And what's also interesting is after this video dropped, there's a hashtag going around, Chris Hansen is over party, right? And a bunch of accounts were either were getting shadow banned. Tipster's account had a 12-hour lockout on it. Somebody got suspended. And these were all people shortly after using the Chris Hansen is over party hashtag. Very, very suspect, especially given what this part of the video is going to be implying.
never misses. What's up with that? So Chris keeps digging through Spazio's post history and he finds a tweet from a year ago. This tweet is asking Twitter to reinstate an account, Corey Richardson. It not only tags Twitter and Jack, as one usually does when there's a problem on Twitter, they also tag an account at Delbius. Everyone knows who Jack is, but who's Delbius? So Chris clicks on it and it's Del Harvey, the vice president of Twitter Trust and Safety, who just so happens to follow and like tweets made by none other than Spazio. So you guys are able to kind of get through the red tape and just contact someone directly? That's badass. Very useful to know.
Whoa, so there's been a previous case of a Twitter employee allegedly suspending accounts who are falsely accused of botting?
Now, as you can see, right, this is not him saying like, oh, this is Chris Hansen doing it. He actually does a good job establishing, right, with Justin Wang, that this individual, Del Harvey, right, again, can't definitively prove it. What you can say is this person would tag Del Harvey, right, and report tweets, and that person would immediately get suspended. Del Harvey is the vice president of Twitter's Trust and Safety. Ergo, you can make the obvious leap. I won't even say leap, the obvious step that Del Harvey is abusing their position at Twitter to get accounts banned the moment someone that she likes lets her know about it. I mean, I don't see any other way of reading that, right? It seems like it's very suspect, right? Del Harvey was yes. That part's about to come up right now. Del Harvey and Chris Hansen have a previous working relationship, and Del Harvey is on very good terms with Chris Hansen, right? So be careful if you ever tag Chris Hansen in anything.
Hold on. That name of the employee, Del Harvey?
What does that name sound so suspiciously familiar?
The internet is swarming with predators who constantly stalk chat rooms searching for children, but Del Harvey is fighting back by hunting down online pedophiles and bringing them to justice. She's here today to uncover a disturbing world that every parent needs to be warned about. Please welcome, from pervertedjustice.com, Del Harvey. Del.
Creepy face.
Ending to be me just a month
What
after
the
I'd
hell
been
happened?
suspended off Twitter. I only found
His post history.
Bringing them to justice. She's here today to uncover a disturbing world that every parent needs to be warned about. Please welcome, from pervertedjustice.com, Del Harvey. Del.
23-year-old Del puts on her best young girl voice. She needs to verify that the man on the phone is the same man in the chat room.
Bye.
Harvey is not her real name, which she gave up long ago when she became a professional troll. Oh no! She's a professional troll! But what did she...
So, I check Twitter. Michael Jackson, yeah, right. She looks like if Michael Jackson was actually a woman. So she looks like Michael Jackson. That fucking cunt, yes, I said it, needs to be removed from her position of power immediately. Professional troll. Yep. I mean, the deep dive on this shit is just fucking weird and insane.
Dude, what did she do? Well, she posed as underage girls and boys to entrap pedophiles as administration for the website Perverted Justice, and later for NBC's To Catch a Predator. No! Del! Wait a minute! Oh my, Chris Hansen, no! Dude, she's on the payroll! The head of Twitter Trust and Safety is on the payroll!
Wait, so you're telling me a Twitter employee high up at Twitter who is allegedly assisting in suspending accounts who are falsely accused of botting worked with Chris Hansen? And my account went down for exactly the same reason in exactly the same way? How is everything lighting up so much? Remember that list of sock accounts and continual harassment accounts to be removed? Well, Gene claims it was being sent by Chris Hansen to the head of Twitter security.
Now, okay, I think it's suspicious, okay? But I think that Anonymous Gene is like the worst fucking source you can have for this, right? I'm just saying you need something a little bit stronger than that, because Anonymous Gene should not be trusted by anybody with anything at any time, anywhere, in any place or any location, right? I'm not saying that it couldn't be true. I'm just saying that you need something a hell of a lot better than Anonymous Gene said so, right? Like, so far, it's been a pretty good video. And I actually really do believe the point that, John Swan's trying to make there. It's just, again, when I said at the start, this video is not definitive proof of anything. It's stuff like this, right? It's very close. It's very suspect. And if you want to say that there is an insurmountable stack of circumstantial evidence against Chris Hansen, I am with you there. However, you've got to be careful about what we say, because a guy like Chris Hansen, who is such a weasel, right, that he will look at things like this and he'll try to, like, him and his, like, followers, right, they'll look at stuff like this and they'll look for ways where they can just pick it apart, right? They don't actually never need to deny it. They just need to go and point out, well, I mean, look at how ridiculous that is. Anonymous Gene is a doxer. He harasses people. I've condemned him on several occasions, and you take his word, even though you know that he's a liar. Stuff like that, right? Now, in relation to everything else that's going on, right? In relation to everything else that's going on, it looks awful, right? But it's still circumstantial evidence against Chris Hansen.
And on top of that, there was another leaked screenshot from Anonymous Gene showing Chris Hansen talking with Brandon Borman, a member of the Twitter comms team, about harassment that Hansen wants to report. It's almost like Gene and Hansen are super connected.
Yeah, apparently a list was handed over, and then a screenshot leaks of a conversation between comms at Twitter Brandon, and now all of a sudden we've just found ourselves in a situation where everyone's accounts are suspended. Look, I'm not trying to make a sweeping allegation here, but there's clearly something that's not right going on in the community right now.
What Gene and Hansen didn't expect, though, is that I actually have a contact at Twitter, and I was unsuspended after just 4 days. So,
okay, first off, I found a perfect place to stop the video. Also, fuck all these people and their contacts at Twitter. Fuck Twitter, right? Like, honestly, I got no contacts at Twitter. I've been suspended on the stupidest shit. I got suspended for hate speech when I said Muslims are not mongrels. Not are not mongrels. I got reported for hate speech because mongrels is a dirty word, right? Because all it takes through the automated support system is you say anything negative towards anybody else, and you can flag it as like a derogatory speech or whatever. That's Twitter in a nutshell, right? I got no fucking contacts. I can't do shit. Now, again, that looks highly suspicious. These accounts are all on that thread, right? That Anonymous Gene says was sent over to Twitter, right? Someone very high up at Twitter who's a good friend of Chris Hansen. But again, it's not like every single account was suspended. So you have to wonder. You really have to wonder. Also, John Swan says he's got a contact over at Twitter. Well, unless that contacts the head, like the president of Twitter's trust and safety team, I doubt that they outrank the VP. So it could very well be that those accounts got suspended because somebody was mass flagging them, right? Which we've seen happen before. So I'm not saying that it's not possible, right? I'm just saying, again, you have to look at every single element of this.
So I guess their master plan didn't really work. But my colleague A-Star was also suspended along with me. He ran a Chris Hansen parody account, so you might have thought that he would have been suspended for impersonation or something like that. But no. Also, platform manipulation and spam. He had 800 followers, by the way, completely organic growth, same as me. I just find it weird that on the same day, at the same time, a total of 5 accounts, all critical of Chris Hansen, went down for the exact same unsubstantiated reason, all after Gene accused me of botting my engagement.
I think a lot of the content creators are good people, but there's some who are just out there just to churn and create a misinformation campaign. And they use bots and sock puppet accounts, and it's all about getting views on YouTube. And when they finish attacking me, they'll go on to the next person, the next person, the next person. That's what drama channels do. Who is Anonymous Gene, and why is he working for you? Well, this seems to be one of the questions of the hour. I do not know who Anonymous Gene is. I don't know whether it's a man, whether it's a woman, whether it's a group of people. I do know that somebody online named Anonymous Gene, or who calls themselves Anonymous Gene, is a fan of some of the work we've done, of the Predator series, of some of the work we've done on the Onision investigation, and has acted on their own, supposedly in support of our effort. Now, I know that there have been allegations of doxing. I know there's evidence of doxing. I want to be extremely clear that I do not support doxing. I do not tell whoever Anonymous Gene is what to do.
Does anyone believe he doesn't support doxing? Right? I'm not accusing him of being a doxer. I'm just saying, does anyone actually believe that he actually has a moral stance against doxing when you see Anonymous Gene doing this shit, right, repeatedly, and it only ever benefits Chris Hansen, right? And no matter what Chris Hansen says publicly, Anonymous Gene just keeps on doing it in support of Chris Hansen. It could just be that Anonymous Gene is so mentally disturbed that they continue to support Chris Hansen no matter what. Or it could be that Chris Hansen does, right, support what Anonymous Gene is doing. I kind of feel like it's the latter. I kind of feel like these two probably are in communication with each other. It's just not something you can really prove.
Give them instructions on anything. And if I actually knew who this person was, I would tell them to stop a lot of this activity because I just don't agree with it. I can't control what somebody whose identity I don't know does. And while it appears that they believe their motives are altruistic, I just don't agree with a lot of what they do. And I've been the victim of doxing, so I understand what that's like. And I would never take part in it, and I would never condone it. And I don't care whether it's somebody who says horrible, untrue things about me or not. We don't condone doxing. Did you have any involvement with the coordinated Twitter ban wave to deplatform the Goon Squad? Are you still in contact with Del Harvey? No. I mean, I know Del Harvey. I worked with her when she was a part of Perverted Justice. I haven't talked to Del in 2 or 3 years. If you know anything about Twitter, you just don't call somebody. And even if you did and knew somebody from a past professional life, people just don't cancel your Twitter account or suspend it. There's got to be a reason. There's a review. There's an algorithm that's tripped. People have to review it and come to that conclusion. I can't just call and say something. I can complain if I think it's harassment. I can complain if I think it violates Twitter's rules, just like anybody else can complain against me if they think I violate Twitter's rules. You just don't do that. It's just not true.
After I was unsuspended, Gene went a bit mental and started spamming the Twitter CEO.
Jesus. At Jack, Chris Hansen wants to talk to you.
Jack.
At Jack, Chris Hansen.
Dorsey.
Jesus.
Saying that Chris Hansen wanted to talk to him about harassment he was.
Dude, what the hell? Is that someone's phone number? God, that'd be fucked up if that was some. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. No, okay. I was like looking at it for a second. I was like, oh, fuck, is that a phone number?
Receiving on the website.
No. He's just spamming a bunch of numbers. What the hell's up with this guy? Okay. So, you know what? Showing that might actually support the statement that Anonymous Gene is so disturbed that they really do feel like what they're doing supports Chris Hansen and that Chris Hansen wants them to do this, even though Chris Hansen's saying to stop, right? Like you could make the case for it. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying you could at least make the case for that, right? But that is weird.
Took another angle and tried to seduce Jack Dorsey's mother.
Chris Hansen has problems sleeping sometimes. You should send him a message and ask him how he deals with it. Trust me, we'll be very willing to talk to you. Beautiful place. I love art exhibit. Beautiful young lady Obama looking good. I'd love to exchange copies. Follow me. Looks so good.
Hi, Mrs. Dorsey. I work with Chris Hansen to catch a predator.
Oh my gosh, that is weird. That one is very weird. Okay, so it's so fucking weird, man. It's so fucking weird. It's so fucking weird. It really is. It's so fucking weird, right? And then the wrath. Jesus.
He would like to speak to your son. I have Chris Hansen's number for you. If you follow me, I will DM it to you.
He also started to spam multiple Twitter employees asking why me and others were still allowed on the website.
Chris Hansen to catch a predator would like to know why Twitter is allowing the following people and Zoc and bot accounts to harass him. He has reported these accounts hundreds of times with no results.
When he did this, he had a habit of tagging Jack and Chris Hansen at the end of the tweet. And what do you know? The next day, Chris Hansen himself starts replying to Jack Dorsey's mother with his coronavirus report, tagging himself and Mrs. Dorsey at the end of the tweet. Almost exactly how Gene did it just the day before. And of course, here come the allegations again. Gene started to levy some pretty...
Okay, so... Okay. Out of everything there, out of absolutely everything, the weirdest thing to me is that they're trying to get in good with Jack Dorsey's mother, right? And I gotta say, like, okay, here's the part that's really strange to me. I don't understand it, right? If Chris Hansen already has a contact at Twitter, right? If Chris Hansen already has a contact who's the VP of Twitter's Trust and Safety Division, why does Chris Hansen need to get in touch with Jack Dorsey, right? I don't get that, okay? That's something I don't understand, right? And it kind of says to me that Anonymous Gene might just be working on their own because it doesn't seem like, it doesn't seem like he actually needs that contact, right? I might be looking into that too much. It's just something that I find a little bit weird.
serious claims against me, saying that I was on a pedophile watch list in Queensland. I've never been to Queensland, and I'm certainly not on any list. But during this time, there was seen to be another account replying to Mrs. Dorsey and random Twitter employees. Ferret Lady.
I am going to get married soon. Will you and Tim be able to come? I wish one of you would notice this account and notice what it is about. You, Mom, Dad, Andrew, or Jack. I just need one of you to notice it. I would gladly cook for you guys if one of you would study this account and notice what it is about. Jack, I would love for you to follow me. I know that is a lot to ask for, but I only have one follower that thought I was worth following so far. I would love for you to follow me. Jack, can I please be the 4,512th person you follow? Please. I already have one very famous person following me.
But there was something really strange about this account.
Oh, wait, what do you mean? That whole thing was really strange, dude. That whole thing was fucking weird. And yeah, it was very disturbing. What does he mean? There's one thing that was really strange about this account. Besides all of those tweets, that whole thing is fucking weird and creepy and disturbing and strange. What do you mean? What do you mean you got one thing? The entire thing is weird, man. Fuck. Come on, that entire thing is weird. It's not just the one thing. There's no thing that can be creepier or weirder than any of that. Oh, man.
It's the fact that it only had one follower. Oh, big deal, right? Accounts get followers all the time. Well, the one follower on this account was none other than Chris Hansen himself.
Okay, all right, you got me. That is my bad. That is definitely worse. That's definitely worse than I thought it was gonna be. You got me, sir. Oh my goodness. Don't I feel like a fool? I have beclowned myself, people. But still, I can't stand by it. Everything on that account is fucking weird. Oh man.
I believe that this whole time, Hansen was in cahoots with Gene. I believe that Hansen was the one who got me suspended, and he continued to work with Gene despite everyone telling him about Gene's continual doxing and harassment. But it didn't stop there. On the 14th of August, I was doxed by anonymous Gene. Up to this point, my name had been completely private, but I knew that at some point it would all come out, because all of our tax information in Australia is public. I expected it, and I owned it. To be honest, it didn't bother much. Sure, I was annoyed. I wanted to keep it all private, but I guess that's just not possible on the internet. But what I didn't expect is for Gene to start posting my location, my school, and trying to get in contact with former students from my year. This guy went deep into my past to try and find and various other things. But then something happened that just...
Okay, yeah. This part is fucked up, right? But again, I think this video is better at exposing anonymous Gene for shit, because as much as I want to say, this video does a great job, right? And I think it does. Like, I really do think it does a great job. It doesn't actually establish, right, at any point, Chris Hansen outright telling anonymous Gene to do anything. And maybe you don't need that, right? Maybe you don't need that. Maybe you've done enough, right? But again, when it comes to someone like Chris Hansen, who's been able to weasel his way around shit, his entire life, right? I think you need to do more in establishing what Chris Hansen actually knows and what Chris Hansen's actually telling people to do. because otherwise he can just walk around it. And I think he's going to walk around this.
Shook me badly. He started to involve my family and my young sister. And it just made me sick.
Okay, I wanted to make sure the photo was off the screen here because I want to address that really quick. I don't know if anyone noticed this, right? But I've been paying attention to some stuff going on Twitter. And there's been some like disturbing stuff about his sister that's been being posted on Twitter by this, like, I guess this is one kid who thinks it's hilarious. And all I can say is I think it's really disturbing that people are involving a 15-year-old, right? Like, I don't get what that does. I don't get what that's supposed to prove, other than it seems really creepy. It seems very opportunistic to like try to expose a kid like that. Yeah, like what the fuck? Like seriously, what the fuck? But yeah, I guess there's like this kid that was going around making rape jokes about his sister, and then goes around and says, "Well, I trolled everybody into thinking that I'm a pedo." And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, what the actual fuck? You're making jokes about raping a 15-year-old. And when you get called out on it, you go ahead and say, oh, well, I mean, I trolled everyone into thinking that I actually wanted to do that. I'm like, the fuck you mean? The fuck you mean? Like, what the shit, dude? But yeah, but that's what happened when people started to bring up that his sister got doxxed. They started to take shots at his sister, which to me just seems disturbing. But welcome to Twitter, right? Welcome to fucking moral degeneracy, I guess is the best way of saying it.
It's all good to come after me because I'm a public figure. But this is insane. And there was nothing I could do about it. It was around this time when my good friend Alistair was also subject to the doxing and harassment of Gene. But unfortunately for him, Gene was able to find a lot more on him than he did on me.
For me, the doxing started on September 4th last year when Gene changed the handle for the James Swanepoel account to my full name and began posting selfies from my inactive Facebook fan page and pretending to be me just a month after I'd been suspended off Twitter. I only found out because Gene was now telling everyone, I'm back, follow me, under every...
Okay, so the stuff that goes on here is really fucking weird and disturbing, but I actually have to point this out. A-Star made a Twitter thread, right? I know, whatever, Twitter. But he makes a Twitter thread in which he talks about how Chris Hansen is his predator, and goes on to compare himself to like the victims of Anision. And all I can say there is delete that fucking thread, dude. Okay? Because if you want to give Chris Hansen an absolute gift, let me just explain. Don't overplay your fucking hand. Obviously, you've established some sort of connection between Chris Hansen and Anonymous Gene. You've established that when Anonymous Gene does something, Chris Hansen is closely behind it, right? Either following the account that nobody else is following or getting in touch with people that Anonymous Gene is contacting, right? Why do you need to like try to make it sound worse than it is and call yourself similar to one of the victims of Anision? That's a little disturbing, right? Unless you're implying that Chris Hansen had you over to play a little PlayStation and then coerced you into tickling his pickle or something, which I don't think is the case. So maybe delete that tweet. Keep the rest of your thread up, but delete that tweet because there's no reason to give someone like Chris Hansen a defense, a built-in defense, right? There's no reason to do that. And that is exactly what you are doing, right? It's kind of like when Turkey Tom wants to expose Nicholas Diorio, right? So he goes out and Nicholas Diorio. Sorry. When Turkey Tom wants to go out and expose Power Cynical, Nicholas Diorio points out, right, that by going and comparing Power Cynical to someone like Red Kiwis, you immediately give Power Cynical a defense, right? And this is coming from someone who feels that Power Cynical had done some bad things, right? I feel it's the same way. When you go out and say that Chris Hansen is a predator who's victimizing you like Onision did to his victims, you immediately give that guy a defense to the shit that you're saying about him. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if everything else you're saying is true. You go ahead and take it way too far. You take it way too far. And I get that people don't like Chris Hansen. I get that people are going to defend like these claims against Chris Hansen because Chris Hansen is a massive piece of shit. But you got to be more careful with these things. You have to be.
Single tweet in the commentary community. Sure enough, I was getting messages asking if it was me or not since, well, my first and last name were semi-public due to my online work as a voice actor and cinematographer outside of YouTube. And Gene didn't have much at first, but then he began posting my birthday, my city, and soon enough, my home address. But it didn't stop there. He then found and promptly shared my high school news broadcasts and even my past home addresses with images.
Gene would then start to amp up his harassment against me and would create an account posing as a news account from my area. He would follow any...
Okay, so this is some sick and disturbing shit that Gene was pulling, right? But it shows just how obsessive this person is.
anyone he could find from my town in mass for the hope of a follow back. And indeed, about 200 people did. Here he would post about me being a pedophile supporter, along with my full name and picture. You could tell he was trying to rank in Google search so that when you search my name, the most degenerate things would pop up. This continued for months. Despite multiple reports, Twitter did absolutely nothing about it. They even had the nerve to tell me that Gene doxing my sister wasn't against their terms.
Despite being suspended, I filed an impersonation report as well as a report on my dox. To do this, Twitter had me upload a photocopy of my driver's license and an explanation for what was going on. So, what did Twitter's trust and safety team do to help me during this time-sensitive issue? I filed my report on September 4th, and I didn't hear back from Twitter about this case until October 9th, over a month later, when in response to James's impersonation report, which had been filed a month before my own. Gene got away with not just impersonating, but doxing us on the same account for months, despite countless reports. And Twitter still found the time to reject my suspension appeal just 16 days after. In fact, I noticed that the more thorough my appeals were, the quicker they got rejected.
The accusations became worse and worse over time, eventually stating that I was an actual pedophile. I'm not gonna lie, it became pretty draining. Seeing your name get smeared and your dearest family members get doxxed is definitely one of the hardest things that has ever happened to me. Naturally, I started to lose the drive to finish the Hansen series off. The continual doxing and harassment of the past few months just took it all out of me. So I created a video to basically sign off to the story.
I'm fine to go ahead with the video now in a legal sense, but to be fully honest, I don't really want to. The harassment I've received over the past few months has not been amazing. I've been subjected to things that has taken a toll on me. It has taken a toll on me. And I am not ready to go ahead at this point with that video.
And while most people were supportive and accepting, some were very dismissive and entitled, saying I was weak and had no principles.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of fucked up to do, right? Like, calling someone weak when they're going through shit like that. It's one thing if you're in commentary, right? And you're being hit with a massive level of criticism, right? And people are talking shit about you and saying all this shit, right? It's another thing if you have someone who is going out there and branding you as a pedo in your community, like not online, but we're talking about like in your own home, right? Where you live, in your town and everything, who is doxing your family members, including your 15-year-old sister. That is another level, right? And I think it's pretty fucked up to call someone weak because, look, I mean, that's a unique case. That's not something everyone's fucking going through. That is nuts. That is absolutely nuts. I don't know, like, why people think it's good to, like, say shit like that. You know, say whatever you want. Talk whatever you actually want to talk. But, yeah, I think it's especially disturbing and screwed up that you got people going out there and saying crap like that to someone who's going through that. Because, obviously, it's a pretty screwed up situation. And, look, I've had criticisms for John Swan in the past, specifically the Pie Man situation. But at the same time, you know, I can say, hey, what you did here was wrong. But also, like, dude, no. You don't get to pull this kind of crap with people. And I don't know that how people think it's okay to say shit like that. It's pretty fucked up. It's really fucked up. All right. Let's keep going.
And to those people, I say, try being harassed and doxxed for months on end and see how you feel.
Gene had already gone too far, and I contemplated what to do. You don't have a lot of options after being doxxed, but I knew Gene wouldn't stop there. He's always got involved family. And sure enough, the day after having my full name, high school, and home address made public, I got a message on Discord. Gene posted a video of my father performing on stage with his band, and he began posting it everywhere using the news handle as well as the one now being used to impersonate me. So I shot a text over to my dad asking if he'd maybe been contacted by anyone online recently. My father produced a few music videos with his band as a hobby. Not too many people really knew about them unless you were local. Logically, his engagement discovery isn't super active either, and I knew Gene would stick out pretty easily. And sure enough, he left multiple comments posing as a fan of his music, begging to get in touch with him. Then my dad called me and said, "Who is anonymous Gene?"
But, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to finish what I started. If this entire video...
So, okay. I again, strong circumstantial evidence, incredibly strong circumstantial evidence. You have anonymous Gene targeting A-Star, right? Targeting his father who has no real social media presence and has no way of getting his profile boosted out there. And then Chris Hansen shows up and starts following his father, right? Strong, very strong circumstantial evidence. However, it's not proof, right? It's not definitive proof. It's circumstantial evidence, right? But there's a lot of circumstantial evidence in this video where I'm confident in coming to the exact same conclusions that John Swan has come to and that most people will come to. But again, you got to be careful. And there does need to be something, right? Like a smoking gun, right? Because you're dealing with someone who is an absolute weasel, a total scumbag, and who has a lot of pull and massive amounts of clout to get away with this shit.
Video wasn't enough to prove how Hansen and Gene had an undeniable link, then this will be the ultimate kill shot, the climax, the final piece of the puzzle to finally prove Hansen's guilt.
Surprisingly, it didn't take long for him to figure out what Gene was all about. But what really shocked me was when my dad asked if Gene works for Chris Hansen. Turns out Gene never mentioned Hansen once in the initial comments he left. My dad asked because he got a notification on his Facebook account. Someone liked his musician page, and it wasn't Gene. It was Chris Hansen's personal Facebook account. I couldn't believe my ears. There was no way in hell Chris stumbled upon my father's inactive fan page. Someone had to have told Chris who to look up. And if you held any doubt that this was just sheer coincidence, my father hadn't uploaded any new music within roughly a year, let alone paid for any targeted Facebook ads for 60-year-old men on the East Coast. It's also not like I worked with my father. I never promoted his music. I'd been long moved out and focusing on my own online career, which had never featured my father in any shape or form. The link was just simply not there, unless you had both our full names and location. And given I was just doxxed the day before, there wasn't any doubt left in my mind. Chris Hansen was working with Anonymous Gene the entire time.
Chris, why is Gene still doing your bidding?
All right, so that's pretty much it for the video. They've gone over all the evidence they have against Chris Hansen, and I think it's very strong. I think it's very compelling, okay? But again, I got to be clear here. It's not definitive, right? It's not definitive. You can find reasonings behind every single interaction. Now, the weirdest one is the A-star and his father being contacted by Anonymous Gene and then being followed by Chris Hansen's personal Facebook account. That's the weirdest one to me, right? Is there an excuse for it? Sure. Is it one that makes a ton of sense? No, absolutely not. It doesn't make any sense at all. But again, this is what I'm talking about. You got to be clear with what you have against this guy because he's a fucking weasel and he's going to fucking weasel his way around this shit. So I want to thank everyone for tuning into the stream tonight, showing us as much support as you can. Please do me a... Oh, hold on. Oh, yeah. Ferret Lady getting the Hansen follow too. Again, weird. Again, creepy. Again, it establishes something, right? But you got to stop at something because you cannot make a definitive statement. But there is enough circumstantial evidence here that you'd want to look into more of it. And I was about to end it, but we got Origami finally joining.
What's up?
I don't know, man. Where have you been? We're about to end the stream. Where have you been?
I didn't want to watch the video. Are you not going to add anything else to that? What do you think is going to happen?
I've been saying throughout the video what I think is going to happen.
What do you think is going to happen?
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, me neither.
Now let me be clear, right? And I've been as clear as I can. The reason why I don't think anything is going to happen is because you don't have your smoking gun, right? Does it establish that Chris Hansen is a piece of shit? Absolutely. Does it establish that at one point Chris Hansen and Anonymous Gene were in communication with each other? Absolutely. Does it establish that for some reason, when Anonymous Gene takes action against somebody, Chris Hansen is somehow involved in it? Right?
Do you think
Absolutely.
Hansen covered his bases?
Yes, I do.
Completely, right?
Yes. Okay. Not completely, and I'll explain why. Mm-hmm. And here, let me first add John. Hey, John. Let me just say this one thing. When I say like he hasn't covered his bases completely, Anonymous Gene has pissed off so many people that are actively looking into him, that are actively trying to dox him and find his information. Right? They want to know who he is. They want to expose him because he's caused so much harm. And the way that he's taking it, it's one thing if you're one of the Kiwi Farms trash people, right, who goes out and posts people's doxes and everything and laughs about it. It's a whole other thing when you're creating fake news sites, right, and making false news stories accusing people of being pedos. That is a whole other level of being a fucking psychopath, right? He's dangerous. Most people know that. And they want to know who he is. They want to expose him. They want to be the person that exposes who Anonymous Gene is. He's made a lot of enemies. So when Anonymous Gene finally has to face the Reaper, pay the piper, I highly doubt if he has something on Chris Hansen, he doesn't reveal it immediately to save his own fucking ass.
What do you think would be the ender for Hansen?
It would be Anonymous Gene revealing messages between him and Chris Hansen where Chris Hansen is directing him to take action against people.
Where he's performing poor ethics and stuff like that? Like, for example, like Hansen's telling him, yes, go out and do the thing. Apprentice.
Yes.
You know that?
Exactly. I think that is the game ender for Chris Hansen.
You don't think it'd be somebody trying to set him up by going to his Cameo and paying him $50 to fucking hail white supremacy and shit?
Oh, wait, you have that clip?
No, but John called me and I was talking massive shit. I was like, I think he needs to be either really racist or become a pedo himself, like fucking.
Yeah, I don't think anything is gonna happen.
I
Even
think-
if messages are released, he's such a slippery shit about everything. He could just deny that they're even real, right? He's like, those aren't real. Right?
John, do the thing we were talking about, because I can't remember what we said. Like,
if the only way would be
Chris Hansen here.
Yeah,
Like,
this is Chris Hansen, and I just want you all to know that the South shall rise again. White power.
Okay. That would be a game ender.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
If he said that, if Chris Hansen said that, I mean, yeah, of course.
I was going to pay $50 on Cameo. John's like, he's not going to say it. I'm like, I think he will. I think he'll sell out and say it.
No, I don't think. I think that would be the one thing that Chris Hansen would draw the line. I don't think he would be stupid enough to say something. And if he is dumb enough to say something like that for $50, then he deserves to get canceled. That'd be great. Freaking dumb.
I'm trying to do it.
Okay, guys, I want to read through this with you guys, right?
Sure.
Because I showed you this thread, and I was like, I want to do a video on it. Then I read through it a little bit more, and I was
I didn't like it off the bat, dude. And I would feel sorry for A-Star, but I remember now. You correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody correct me if I'm wrong, and I'll eat these words. But wasn't the Pie Man situation like a month ago?
Yes, it was. Yes,
okay.
it was.
Yeah.
Okay, don't get me wrong. I don't think two wrongs make a right. Okay,
no, I don't.
I think the stuff with Pie Man, right, is wrong. I think he needs to be criticized for it. However,
I feel bad that this happened to him. It fucking sucks. Especially
I still feel bad about this.
But then I read the Chris Hansen's a predator, and then I'm like, never mind. Forget it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. He's got a good case against Chris Hansen and Anonymous Gene.
Anonymous Gene, moreover.
Yeah, well, true. But, he's overplaying his hand to an absurd degree to the point where he's going to give Chris Hansen an easy out towards the shit that he's done. So, hold on.
Something's up with Pie Man, too. He posted something on Twitter.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he did. I'll send it to you, actually. I don't know what he's talking about.
On Twitter or private chat or where?
I'll send it to you in the group chat on Twitter.
Okay, all right. Let me start reading this, though. Never in my adult life could I have foreseen the infamous predator catcher, Chris Hansen, becoming my own predator. For those who haven't been following, I'd like to talk about the man many idolized on television as a bastion of justice and his hitman, Anon Gene, my predator.
Just saying, like, what the fuck? Like, that's the part. That's the part. I was
dramatic.
Like, that.
What?
But I laughed. I laughed at that. I'm just like,
so did I, dude.
It's just so dramatic.
Bro, it sounds like some lifetime level tweet. You know what I mean? That's the biggest Me Too I've heard in a while.
Okay. All right, so let's next tweet. Let me be clear. What I'm sharing is my own personal experience. My friend at John Swan YT just released a video showcasing a watchable timeline of how we were targeted and how Twitter played a part in allowing it to happen. I strongly encourage you to watch it. We just did.
I agree.
Yeah.
That part I agree.
Mm-hmm. After months of being doxxed, harassed, stalked, and having my family targeted, we couldn't let this continue. Friends of mine were threatened similarly to how I was, leading up to my eventual deplatforming and doxing. Despite reports to @Twitter Safety and @Twitter Support, I was ignored.
I've got no comment. Just keep going.
Oh, come on, Aura.
I've got no comment, dude. Like, I'm like, bro, I didn't even know A-Star got doxxed until this happened.
No,
like,
actually, true. I had no clue that any of this stuff was going on.
I
really
didn't. It's very highlighted in this video, and I could have sworn it was a bad thing to do that, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think it establishes what Anonymous Gene is doing, right? And it is a key part of the story where he brings up, Anonymous Gene reaching out to his father, and then Chris Hansen shortly after following his father, right?
Yeah, but there's still haters out there.
True,
Like,
true.
now,
I'm just
now I
saying.
know your name.
You get what I mean, though. I think that he's being way too overly dramatic and trying to make himself a focal centerpiece of this story, right? And he's way overplaying his hand here and giving Chris Hansen an easy defense to the claims because all he has to do, he doesn't have to address any of the shit with Anonymous Gene. He can just be like, these people are accusing me of being a predator. What are you going to say? Well, we don't mean predator in that sense. I mean, it's going to come up later, though. When I contacted law enforcement and journalists, they wouldn't touch it. Even with the research and supporting evidence I possessed, nobody would help me. Puppeteering the Discovery Plus documentary, people struggle to see Chris for what he truly is, no matter the criticism / evidence. I mean, Anonymous Gene is the one actually doing it to him, though.
No,
right?
yeah, like I think Hansen does know who Gene is because I'm actually responding to a message. But like I think he does know who Gene is. But the thing is, like, he's covered himself enough to be like, you don't have him saying or giving specific instruction for Gene to do what he's doing. He could be doing this to suck up to Hansen, and I'm sure Hansen will say that. You know?
Oh yeah, that's what I mean.
Look, and
Chris
that's
Hansen is 2 steps removed from any actual conspiracy.
That's what I'm saying. Unless there's messages where he's directly telling him to do something that are revealed,
Hansen will play stupid.
Exactly. Well, the other thing too is even if, all right, let's say conversations are released, right? But they're so ambiguous that people can infer whatever, right? Because that's what Hansen would probably say, right? If messages were released between him and this Gene guy, he could be like, well, he took what I was saying literal, or he acted on his own based on the conversation we had. I never told him directly to do anything. He said that he could do this and he could do that, and I never gave him any kind of go ahead to do anything like that or whatever, right? Or he'll spin it. He's a journalist. He's going to spin it however he feels will be the best defense for him. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think there's nothing that they'll say or do that'll be able to really nail him on anything. He'll just find a way to talk out of it, talk himself out of it.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the issue with this video. It establishes a bunch of circumstantial evidence, but it's more of a knife thrown at Anonymous Gene with Chris Hansen sort of getting his shoulder nicked, right? It makes him look bad, don't get me wrong. And yeah, it does establish contact between the two individuals at certain points. However, it's like you said, Chris Hansen can easily defend himself by saying, I've criticized Anonymous Gene. I don't support his actions.
Well, he said he's
just doing this to get my attention because he's obsessed with me.
Well, you could also say that, look, I disavowed his actions, right? I disavowed his actions before. I'll do it again. And that's what he'll do, right? He'll just say, look, I disavowed Gene's actions before, and I'll do it again right here. I don't support this, that, or the other, right? And I never told him to do any of that. And again, look, if again, he could maybe even pull the whole thing as just like, look, Gene was telling me one thing and then doing the complete opposite of what he was doing, right? And what if Chris Hansen is the one that's like, I got the DMs right here, to prove it.
So let me share this comment really quick. Then they share Hansen's Facebook account. No. Prove to me that Anonymous Gene told Chris Hansen to go follow A-Star's father. You can't do that, right? Sorry. Let me do this again. The Facebook reply by Hansen that Gene works with, not for him. That doesn't mean anything. Okay, that doesn't mean anything because what's he saying? He doesn't work for me. He works with me in my fight against Denisian, as do thousands of my viewers.
There's just going to be tons of technicalities that Chris Hansen will weasel his way out of it.
Yeah, he's a weasel, dude. That's the problem.
That's what I think anyway. It's he'll find a way to get out of it.
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. He'll find a way to talk his way out of it.
Look at Grimm's comment. I think he said it perfectly.
Hold on. They showed more messages between people, and Hansen plays dumb.
Basically, yeah. That's what he does the entire time. He plays dumb. He disavows the actions, but he's just like, I don't know.
He's totally okay with them. He's totally okay with them. Now, the thing about this thread by Alistair, right, or A-Star, right?
A-Star. Yeah.
I'm just going by the Alistair thing.
I know.
Yeah, the problem with the start by A-Star, Anonymous Gene is the one doing it, right? But he's all about how Chris Hansen is his abuser. Maybe Chris Hansen is the guy behind all of it, right? He's the man behind the curtain. But it's Anonymous Gene who is taking every action against A-Star, not Chris Hansen, right? So if anything, you want to call anyone your predator, it's Anonymous Gene, not Chris Hansen.
Mm-hmm.
That's the issue with this thread, because Chris Hansen, like you said, can go out there and say, I disavowed his actions. I'll disavow his actions right now. I don't condone any of this. And then and then for all you know, he calls up Anonymous Gene and says, good work, buddy. And you'll never be able to prove it.
Exactly, yeah.
You'll never be able to prove it.
Accidentally fucking leaks it.
Yeah.
But
until you find out who Anonymous Gene is, you're never going to get anywhere with Chris Hansen. And this angle of trying to say that Chris Hansen and Anonymous Gene know each other and are collaborating with each other. I think that they are. I think that they are.
I believe.
I fully believe that they are. But if you want YouTube to take action, if you want Twitter to take action, if you want someone to write an article about Chris Hansen, you need to establish that. And that's not been done yet. It's very close. It's a lot of circumstantial evidence, but you're going to need to break Anonymous Gene. So,
you know, like, and that's one of the problems with the thread, and, you know, whatever with the thread, he could do whatever he wants. And it's not just that he points out, it's not that they even point out the doxing thing. Cause like when you get doxed, I'm like, the doxers allow people who become doxed to weaponize it against them. So it makes, you know, Hansen and Gene look like shit, rightfully fucking so. Mostly Gene.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the problem with the thread. Hansen will be like, you're using it for sympathy. I didn't dox you. Gene doxed you.
Yeah.
Which he's resorted to. Look at what he did to Edwin. Look at what he did to Edwin just now.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. Okay, so let me go on to the next. Let me try to finish reading this thread up. Since August of 2020, I've carefully documented Chris Hansen's collaboration with Anon Gene, following my wrongful deplatforming. Now that I have a voice, thanks to the commentary community, I'd like to share with you all why hashtag Chris Hansen is over party is happening. And
ever since narrator said that, I don't believe those words. Just like ever since narrator said that, I don't believe those words. You know, I finally have a voice. Like I don't believe it.
This is his story. This is his truth. Okay.
Shut up, Crow.
Okay. You know, I was gonna say it.
I should have known. I should have known.
Mr. Hansen is very aware of who I am, despite how naive and dismissive he's been. He's known about me since July, when he had Twitter staff deplatform me, John Swan, Josh Pescatore, and Tipster. That's Tipster.
Prove it.
Seconds of each. Shut up.
Prove it. I'm just saying, prove it. You know what I mean?
I thought you meant prove that Banis Druno was Tipster.
No, I'm just saying. What's he saying? Listen, what he's saying. You know, when he had Twitter staff to platform me,
he made a definitive statement. He made a definitive statement.
Exactly. He should. He said. He should say. You know, I'm under the impression or of the opinion that he had. You know, he had me to platform. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. This is the thing. He's going too far and way overplaying his hand. Most people believe what he is saying, right? But what if Chris Hansen addresses this and says, I never did that. Prove it. What are you going to do? Well, Anonymous Gene's a liar. Why would you take his word? It's really good work, but you're jumping the gun right now. And that's what I think really kills A-Star's entire argument against Chris Hansen is shit like this, which is littered throughout the thread. Okay. Not long after this, I didn't do my voice. Not long after this occurred, I conducted a stream discussing how this took place and why I'm convinced the head of Twitter safety division at Delbius and at WingMan of Twitter comms were not just complicit, but cooperative in Chris's desire to silence us. Vaude. Now, okay, here's the thing, right? This is how he should have said the first one. Why I'm convinced, right?
Yep. That would have been a much better way to put it because, again, that it's within the realm of possibility. Look, that Chris Hansen is colluding with these people. They've established that he had a relationship with this person, this Delbius person, right? Which even Chris Hansen himself hasn't denied, right? He outright admitted to it, right? We worked on a thing together when she was working for such and such a company, Perverted Justice or whatever, right?
Yep.
He himself has said that. So they have established that they have had a working relationship in the past, and it's very likely that they probably still do correspond to this day, although again, there's no way to prove that 100% that they correspond frequently or anything like that, but it's possible. I mean, it's not a stretch to assume that he's probably reached out to her from time to time, or maybe he hasn't at all. Maybe he hasn't in years like he claimed, but again, no way to know for sure.
Yeah. Now over here, the voice doesn't work when you've been drinking soda. Going to resume this thread soon. Evidently, there are already signs of retaliation to the story surfacing and getting picked up and trending. If I vanish or stop posting, it's likely someone within Twitter is actively suppressing me, as being done to others, such as Tipster. Okay, so here's the thing. I already talked about this earlier, right? The weird stuff going on with Twitter and everything in the stream, where you have accounts being like shadow banned, accounts being suspended, and accounts being outright yeeted off the platform. Now, that seems to be in relation to the hashtag Chris Hansen is over party and the use of it. I don't know how many other accounts were targeted. What I do know is Tipster was one of the bigger ones. However, just to provide a little bit of context here, Tipster has been going after people on Twitter. I'm not saying he's in the wrong for it. Me and him had a back and forth on Twitter, right? I'm just saying it's also kind of likely that while this was going on, someone who had an argument with Tipster or one of their fans flagged his tweets. Like the Big Money Anisian guy was arguing with Tipster. That dude is fucking unstable. I fully believe that he would go and flag your tweets for insulting him.
Well, yeah, and then when the thing about Twitter is, okay, for example, like the hashtag Chris Hansen's over, like Tipster was throwing it out here and there, right?
Uh-huh.
So then you can report that one, and then you can report all of them. So all of them that are connected to that hashtag, it can come over as a, what do you call that shit, harassment? Or whatever the hell they want to call it?
Targeted harassment.
There you go. Yeah. And that'll get you. Like, it's stupid, but it's true. Dude,
it is.
I got taken down for less,
Yeah. I'm not saying that it couldn't have been the hashtag or use of it. I'm only trying to provide the context that, Tipster was going after some people pretty hard on Twitter. I'm not saying he's in the wrong for it. I'm not even going to get involved in that because one of these people I wouldn't say moron.
I wouldn't say so much as going after people. I'd say he was engaging in arguments with people. I think would probably be more appropriate.
Yeah. Okay. That is a much better way of phrasing it. Sorry. What I mean is he is going in the how's this? He's having heated back and forth with people, right? He's having heated back and forth with people. Some of those people have friends. Some of those people have fans. And if they see Tipster doing it, they might feel compelled to just go ahead and report his tweets. And that's all you need because a lot of this stuff on Twitter is automated, right? Tipster's account is not a verified account, meaning he doesn't have any of the privileges that verified accounts do, where when they get flagged, they don't immediately get taken down through the automated system. I'm just saying that's also a possibility here. However, I agree there are some shady fucking shenanigans going on with Twitter and how certain people very high up in Twitter have these connections with Chris Hansen. It's just more circumstantial and nothing definitive.
I mean, like I said, my thoughts on the video is a great fucking video. I don't need to watch it again, but it's a great video. I didn't know that they got doxxed that badly. This is the first time I found out John Swan's name and shit. I was like, oh shit. I was like, I don't know if it's a good idea to put that in there. There's people who are nuts who will like fucking use that. But that's just my personal thing.
Said Tipster gets banned all the time on Twitter.
All the time.
So I'm just saying, like, I get it. Now this part over here, At Twitter support issued a lockout to at tipster without reason. Literally, the reason is blank. If I or any others vanish, this only solidifies the existing evidence. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It strengthens it. It doesn't solidify it.
It could be the anti-O's, dude. They're mad that the commentary community's going. They don't want Onision to be vindicated whatsoever.
Yeah, true. I saw one anti-O account. Someone tagged me in and they showed me their tweets in which they were talking about how they were going to like go after, I can't remember if it was Augie or Diorio, but they were going to like, it was like something like cancel drama tubers, right? There's like a hashtag for it or something. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it could just be the anti-O community. Oh no, Repzilla, right? Was it Repzilla? Something about how they had bullied Sarah off of Twitter. I think it was Repzilla's video that they were talking about, and they were like trying to get him taken out. Right?
Oh, it was Chris Hansen. Oh my God. It was Repzilla's video that Chris Hansen forces Sarah to go onto the thing, and then Big Money Onision showed up.
Yep. So I'm just saying, there are other possibilities here, right? So you got to be careful because, again, Chris Hansen is a weasel, and if you overstep, sure, it will play well for people, but if you're actually trying to get something done about the guy, you got to be a little bit more tactful in how you handle it. And listen, if I'm the guy criticizing you on tact, you know you fucked up.
I thought he was permabanned off the platform. Is he evading again? That was Robert to be reported.
Okay. Tipster says, if I get sus, join his server for updates. Please pay attention to this thread. We'll resume soon. Okay. So I guess he was just plugging something. Okay. Resuming thread. Both Chris and Gene have been documented on multiple instances, alluding to and warning that they will successfully silence their critics under the guise of misinformation campaign in a desperate attempt to retain supporters. Thanks at Tamimi. Now, this tweet's unavailable, so let me see. Am I blocked or...
You're probably blocked.
Oh, no. Tamimi's account is gone.
Did she leave?
No, the tweet is from an account that no longer exists.
Then she probably shut down. She probably shut down Twitter then.
Yeah, the account doesn't exist.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. That'd be different if it was suspended. So, earliest examples of Gene threatening us on 3 of his numerous suspended accounts, one of which impersonated my family member, a member of his first victim, at Josh Pescatore. Soon, he'd take credit for our deplatforming after leaking DMs between Chris and Babor Man of at Twitter comms to scare us. Wait. Anonymous Gene made a Bruce Wayne parody account? The fuck? Bruce J. Wayne? What the fuck? I think I'm angry that he got the middle name wrong. I'm working on getting it back up. Give it a minute. I'm going to use this account to dox John Swan, so stay tuned. What's the next one? Chris Hansen is a dumb guy. Wouldn't think so. I mean, he knew who John Swan actually was a month ago. Jesus Christ. And by proxy, guess who else knows exactly who John is? This guy. Were you impersonating a woman at the time? Because that's just weird. Okay, so here's just a bunch of shit. What is this? Hi, Chris. As you can imagine, I'm completely underwater right now. Would you be able to send it via email to... Would like to bring a very serious case of harassment on Twitter to your attention. Let me know when you have a moment, and we'll send you details here or wherever you prefer. Oh, okay, so this is him emailing the supposed list to Twitter support, I guess.
Fucking Grim. Okay, Grim said, yeah, she turned off Twitter again. She's like, she came back for like a thing and then left again.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. 1 month after being deplatformed, Gene then began posting my full docs on his Twitter accounts, including the one previously used to impersonate at JohnSwanYT. Now rebranded to my full name, showing my current and previous home addresses with images. This began on September 4th, 2020.
Why do you read it like that? Why do you read it like fucking...
Why wouldn't I?
Why do you read it like Deeper Voice Rebzilla? Why are you doing this?
Why? Do you want to read these tweets? Because you can.
I can't see them, but why are you reading
Okay,
it like
if you want to read the tweets, you can read them in whatever voice you want to read them.
Why don't you read them
I
like
want to
the
read the
chipmunk?
tweets. I want to read them like a Southern gentleman. Okay?
Southern gentleman? Southern gentleman? Michelle, my best. Somebody roll down a window.
A Southern gentleman, sir.
This flower is wilting.
Shut up. I'm gonna keep going, but
ahead.
Okay, thank you. All right, guys, if you want to click on the images, you got to go through to the thread yourself, okay? Just in case there's something in there that he doesn't want seen. I know a lot of it's blurred, but I never trust when people are talking about doxing and then showing images. Just a good rule to follow. The very next day, Gene began posting anything he could find. Shut up, dude. Stop fucking snickering. It's hard to fucking focus. Okay. Began posting anything he could find tied to my family, primarily my father, as well as his band. It wasn't long before Gene discovered that my family had been featured in a reality show. He tried to obtain more information, despite it being long unavailable. Wonder what reality show it was. Actually sounds kind of cool. Okay. I asked my father if he'd been contacted recently online. Sure enough, Gene was leaving him comments on his channel, posing as a curious fan of his music. But he knew better and privated. Gene soon found and began sharing my high school news broadcasts, but Gene wasn't acting alone. All right. For some bizarre reason, Chris Hansen liked my father's inactive musician artist page on Facebook the day before. Below is a recording with my father confirming what we found. I've removed all sensitive material unrelated to the core purpose of this recording. We caught Chris. I would say we caught Hansen because there's a lot of Chris's out there.
What else do you use in this page? Because I don't know what else we can find.
You go back to his Facebook account.
Page right here.
Okay, that's his girlfriend. She's been heavily involved recently. Let's see. So, yeah, this is his exact account, Michigan State. This is not a troll account, very clearly. Oh wow, he doesn't private any of his shit.
That's some show. See, that's 2016. He's not even doing that anymore either, right?
No, this was when a YouTube channel called Crime Watch Daily, which is now called True Crime Daily, employed him for a season of a reboot of To Catch a Predator called Hansen versus Predator. It was a Kickstarter show.
Well, that's when I read that he bought a bunch of marketing materials, didn't pay for them.
Yes. Did he do anything else as of recently, or the only other instance was Gene leaving a comment on your YouTube channel before you deleted it?
Well, it was him leaving free comments. So that's one on the channel. But see, I had two different videos. So I guess he left a comment on the channel, and then he left comments on two different videos, trying to get my attention. My real thought on this was I was like, how do you know that he's not the anonymous Gene?
He's far too stupid. And on top of that, one of the guys that used to work very closely with Chris Hansen, he revealed to me that during their pre-shows, he could hear him talking to Gene on the phone. He addressed him by name, and this is all on speakerphone in the background. He didn't think twice or think much about the fact that he had someone else overhearing the call. He heard him address him as Gene, which is something that I have a testimony of. And then he also heard Gene's voice for a bit, so he knows Gene is a male, Gene is a person. Chris Hansen did a live stream addressing a bunch of questions. I asked him point blank about Gene, and he tried saying that I don't know who Gene is. Or
Hypersexually breathing into the mic.
We already know that he's lied about that. And in that stream, he also accidentally kept referring to Gene as he. He's not very careful about that.
I actually wanted to hear that last part, and you breathed over it.
Sorry.
That's Chris Hansen admitting he's a rapist.
He was saying that he referred to Gene as something else or something. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to play from here. That's the last 21 seconds.
So he knows Gene is a male. Gene is a person. Chris Hansen did a live stream addressing a bunch of questions. I asked him point blank about Gene, and he tried saying that I don't know who Gene is, or if Gene's a man, a woman, a group of people. We already know that he's lied about that. And in that stream, he also accidentally kept referring to Gene as he and tried to correct himself saying they. He's not very careful about that.
No, because I call Gene a he, and I have no clue about the gender. It's just Gene's a male name.
The way it's spelled, yeah.
Yeah. Well, true, because there's Jean Grey, but it's spelled J-E-A-N. Yeah. So, look, I'm just saying, like, I don't think that's really proof of anything, because when I hear about Gene, I just assume it's a guy, right? And maybe that's just my own internal biases.
I think Gene is a guy. I think we've reached out to them before. Long time ago. Yeah, I think so.
When?
Long time ago, when the Repsion shit was happening.
Why?
Asking him questions. See if he was behind sending the fucking letter to Repsion's house. It's like, it was not me. It's like, fucking, I did not do that.
Oh, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but
what did you do?
I used Aura to dig for information on somebody.
It wasn't just me. I mean, there was like 3 other people who did it with me. But like, no, yeah, he denied sending the letter to Repsion, and he didn't. Somebody else came forward.
As I referenced in the call with my father, I had a compelling testimony from Chris Hansen's former assistant, Angry Slug, where he fucking dude.
What?
Sorry. Let me read this sentence in a not fucked up way. As I referenced in the call with my father, I had a compelling testimony from Chris Hansen's former assistant, Angry Slug, where he shares how he came to be onto Chris's show. This clip from okay, dude, of all people, even worse than Anonymous Gene, Angry Slug has zero credibility with everything. This dude will deny doing something and demand you show him evidence, and you'll show him said evidence, and he'll turn around and say, that's not proof. You're just triggered. That guy has no credibility. That guy has literally fessed up to calling people's jobs and accusing them of being pedos.
Or not. I don't know if he called them, but he said he was going to, or some shit like that. I don't remember.
That guy has gone to people's fucking Instagram accounts and gone through everything, exposing their family members, everything. That guy has contacted people's family members. He did do this shit and said that this person was in possession of CP.
That's complaining about doxing.
Also the doxing shit. Also, he's shared people's doxes in tweets and then deletes the tweets and thinks that means that you no longer have the evidence, even though you fucking clip it. That guy is brain damaged, like literally brain damaged, because he will fucking do the most fucked up shit. That guy recently was trying to expose someone for being a pedo. So what he did was he took a bunch of links of what he thought were CP, and he watched the entire thing, and then told everyone that after watching it in full, that he threw up. And when people said, dude, that's CP, what are you doing? He goes, I threw up watching it. It was so disgusting. And people were like, why are you sharing these links? Pedos are going to find them. He went, well, they're going to find him anyway, so what? That is Angry Slug. And then he deletes the tweets, deletes his fucking account, deletes his Discord, deletes everything, and then comes back and says, you're lying. I never did any of that. That's Angry Slug. Please tell me you have something better. Please tell me you have something better. Why? This is like the shit. Oh my God. Oh. This is like Anonymous Gene making a claim. Well, Chris Hansen did this. You can't use these people as sources. You cannot use them as a source. They have no credibility. They lie frequently. If you use them as a source for anything, it disproves what you're saying more than it proves it.
Hold on. Tell Ty good night. He's taking off.
Sorry, Ty. Good night, buddy. I'm sorry. Good night, buddy.
Yeah.
Later, man. Later. Okay. Well, it's a good thing. It's God damn. I'm not trying to be a dick here because I think that John Swan's video is really good. And I've called A-Star a dumbass before, right? For the stuff with Pie Man. Okay.
No,
But
more stuff.
legitimate.
You debated with him on Twitter.
Okay, yeah, that too. Okay, but more to the point. I actually do feel really bad for the shit that he was put through, right? I don't think anyone should have to deal with that. Sincerely, bottom of my heart, no joking, no trolling, no fucking making this shit up. I feel really fucking bad that anybody has to get put through what A-Star got put through and what John Swan has been put through.
Yeah,
it's
definitely
disgusting. It's wrong. It should never fucking happen. However,
what the fuck?
As someone who's got to be completely honest with him and with anybody who thinks that this is a good look, right? You cannot use somebody like Angry Slug, who every other word out of his goddamn mouth is a lie, as a legitimate source for anything. You cannot do that. If you do, knowing how dishonest that individual is, it only serves to discredit your argument. When you go out there with this threat and you started off calling Chris Hansen a predator, right? It damages what you were trying to do. When you're more concerned with Chris Hansen than with the person who's actually doing this stuff to you, because you've never proven that Chris Hansen actually has directed Anonymous Gene to do any of it, it shows more that you have a vendetta against Chris Hansen versus you being upset with what's being done to you, right? Maybe you feel differently, and that's fine. I get it. I'm just trying to warn people that this is bad.
Do you think Hansen will respond? Because I do think he's going to.
I think why wouldn't he?
And do you think he's going to use that thread as a point of sympathy and a fucking, like, he's going to flip it? I already see it. The minute I read it, I was like, oh, he's going to flip this shit.
I mean, like, look, he can point out, well, he used this Angry Slug, and then pull up any of the tweets that we've shown people where Angry Slug confesses to watching CP. I mean, dude, I can't. Angry Slug confessed to watching CP.
Hear me
out. Recently.
You got to hear me out. Do you think Chris Hansen is going to fucking go after fucking Angry Slug for watching CP and being a predator?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, dude. That would be fucking hilarious.
That'd be fucking insane. Oh,
that'd be like, that'd be like, you know, I got to choose between two great evils, knowing that Chris Hansen is obviously more damaging. But man, oh man, do I like seeing Slug just get his ass handed to him.
That'd be fucking insane. What's on fucking Slug? Slug, why don't you have a seat and let's talk about how the South shall rise again and white power.
Fucking hell. Okay.
I still think someone should go.
All right, I can't do the voice anymore, guys. I can't do the voice anymore. When Chris says he doesn't know who Gene is, this is what his assistant had to say about what he overheard during his time with Chris. At one point, Angry Slug was to organize the AMA at Ordinary Gamers, and I pushed to have a mediator, but they contested this. Why are you still talking about Angry? God damn it. I asked Angry Slug for his personal testimony. No, I'm skipping over anything that you say Angry Slug is involved in. All right, I'm just going to skip it. Once Gene realized he wasn't going to trick my father, he then began looking for close IRLs in hopes they'd give up details of my father or be naive enough to trust him. My father's guitarist then received an inquiry from his website on September 8, 2020. Here's what Gene said. Let me just read this. Hi, mate, no problem. I should be talking to him in the next few days. I'll give him your email address. Can I let him know what it's for? Thanks, mate. Yes, sir. You can also give him my number. That would also be wonderful of you. I want to interview him as a follow-up to an interview he did a few years ago and update what he has been up to since. God, Gene is creepy. So this is him sending it. And Gene hates Facebook at gmail.com. Yes, sir. You can also give my number, yada yada. I want to interview as follow up. So that's pretty much it. Begging to get contact with people. Gene was hell bent on promising that Chris Hansen would find a way to interview my father one way or another, threatening to pass along my information to Chris, which I believe he did. Gene's harassment towards me persisted months long after I'd given up coming out with this. Whatever. In my comments, Gene accuses me of opening alt accounts targeted towards Chris after I'd been deplatformed. Whether or not Gene actually believes his own conspiracy theory about me harassing Chris with alts, it appears Chris believes it based on the context behind this leaked DM. So is this, you're so very welcome, A-Star. A-Star should be more concerned about a criminal harassment investigation, as well as separate civil actions for falsely accusing someone of being a pedo. God damn it. I made multiple attempts to reach out to Chris privately via diplomatic contacts, such as his mods, trying to give him the benefit of the doubt despite my better judgment. These leaked DMs serve as confirmation he'd have no excuse to pretend he wasn't aware, taken September 9th, 2020. Chris never emailed me. However, the next day, Chris premiered his first pre-recorded interview with Bot-O-Meter dev Clay Davis on September 9th, 2020. I was vocal in chat about my opposition towards the purpose of this manipulative interview. This time, Chris responded to me, then hid. What'd he say? Okay, well, trust the guy with a doctorate that wrote this tool as opposed to a gaming streamer in the live chat. Wow, salty bitch. That's really salty. This is the second time I've been reply deboosted while writing this thread. At Brandon Talks Kid just got hit with having a go at Chris Hansen. If a ban wave is on the horizon, it's going to be a PR nightmare for this crumbling platform. Mark my words, archive them. For those discovering this thread, I plan to resume, but keep in mind what's going on right now. We're seeing way more patterns. I mean, dude.
What was the thing about the pedo thing? The accusation about the pedo? Who was that?
I think that was Chris Hansen.
Oh, okay. Calling somebody a pedo?
A-Star should be more concerned about a criminal harassment investigation as well as separate civil actions for falsely accusing someone of being a pedophile. So I don't know what that's about.
Was that about Pie Man?
Maybe.
Somebody's asking me.
Maybe. I don't know. I got the Pie Man tweet, so we'll finish up reading through that. Resuming threat. Gene recently confessed to doxing us before immediately resuming. Gene leaked an image of Jack Dorsey's mother, following who is presumed to be Chris, to bragging DMs. Chris encouraging Gene to send him anything on Elysian in January 2020. I think it's all kind of weak, honestly. Even as just days ago, Gene's thread towards me and my family only continued as John's video approached. No matter what we did, Gene wasn't ever planning to stop this behavior, even when we had given up. Chris Hansen failed to put an end to this, and he should be held accountable. What? Okay. I'm going to stop. I think A-Star has been victimized, right, by Gene. I think he's failed to prove that Chris Hansen has knowingly been involved in it, right? And I think worst of all is this final line here where he says Chris Hansen failed to put an end to this and he should be held accountable. So, yeah, bad all around. No, dude, I genuinely feel bad for them and their experiences. I feel like he should have just put my experience with Anonymous Gene. And Chris Hansen could not fucking use that to weaponize against him later on. Yeah.
But what are you going to do?
Okay, so let's just finish it up with this. I want to move on and let the drama stay in the past. But after disgusting lies were made about me yesterday, I feel I need to showcase the appalling behavior of a certain someone in a proper video. Don't expect any further tweets until the video comes out. Oof. Well, we'll see. I did my video on the Pie Man situation. It was fucked. It was absolutely fucked. I want to see what his video is, but I'm not gonna I'm not going to say anything until I actually see it. Hold on. Hey, Grim.
What's going on?
How's it going?
Not much, buddy. Just a little bit of my soul died tonight.
Oh, and yeah, I heard you. I heard you yell a little bit, so it's all good.
Is your
What is it
soul
that
okay?
you wanted to point out, Grim? I saw you in chat saying you wanted to talk about something.
No, I was curious. I know I asked you to ask about the Pie Man thing. So, iStar has already called somebody a pedo before?
I think they're referring to the Pie Man situation. Because
Yeah.
I don't know any other instance, but it's possible it's something else entirely.
That's
But,
why I want to know what. Do you have the date on that?
It's okay, so it's an unlisted video, okay? It's an unlisted video, and I did a video on it, and I think I linked the unlisted video in the comment section.
I watched your video. I watched the live stream whenever you actually went over the Pie Man situation and all that, and that's why I'm just kind of curious because like it sounded like there was a couple other things there in that little tweet or whatever was said. So it's kind of confusing if like iStar or A-Star or whatever his fucking name is, if it was like back before everything happened or if that would be a very recent one if it was with the Pie Man.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's weird. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't think you're able to see the date on it specifically, but A-Star's probably going to touch up on it. Or it's probably on A-Star's channel, actually. Because he posted the video himself. on his
Yeah.
thread.
I don't know, right? I don't know what that's referring to specifically. The only one I know from recently was Pie Man, but I don't know. Like if Chris Hansen was paying attention to that shit, right? That's kind of impressive. That's kind of impressive that he even knows what's going on there.
But the thing is, that was whenever Chris Hansen said, "Hey, you have to worry about calling people out and like harassing us," which would have been a long time ago. Is whenever Chris was saying that stuff.
Yeah. Trying to remember what could have been happening around that time. Like way back then anyway. Nothing to like my recollection comes up in regards to
But
the
I swear that was whenever iStar just got kicked off of Twitter.
Yeah. And I don't remember anything.
That was about a year ago.
Yeah, roughly. When all this when they started all like criticizing him and stuff.
Yeah, so I'm kind of curious who A-Star would have called a pedo then, unless he was calling like Gene or Chris one. Maybe he was calling Chris one because Chris is dating like girls 20 years his younger than him.
Could be. That could be a possibility. I was like, "Are you friendly with A-Star?" You could ask him. I don't think.
A-Star don't like me anymore. Nobody likes me.
Oh yeah, that's right. Grim's always fighting with people. Grim's always fighting with people every fucking day.
A-Star posted like my little cooking video where I was like cooking with supposedly whatchamacallit, vape juice.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Look what this guy's doing! Oh my god, he's so gross." I'm like,
He's
dude,
gonna get everybody killed.
It was a joke. Anyways, I'm sorry to just keep going.
You're good. I was going to actually end things right around here.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you for everything. Grim, thanks for tuning in. John, thank you for the cloud, even though you're no longer with us, so I lost the cloud. Aura, thank you.
Weird. Yeah, you're welcome.
But guys, we'll go ahead and see y'all later.
Which one of us is going to pay Hansen to fucking say the South Shore and white power?
How much money do you think we need to pay him?
$50.
Isn't it $50 for a cameo?
$50? Okay, you got to be clever about it. You got to get him to say it, but not. You got to get him to like.
Well, see, that's what John Swan did. Whenever he did that whole little thing where he had Chris say whatever he wanted to in that one cameo, John Swan did not make him say exactly what he wanted. He phrased it in different parts of the video, and then he clipped it all together to make it look like Chris Hansen said what he wanted to.
I figured out what you need to get him to do. You know that fucking okay, I went off on Twitter about this shit, right?
Uh-huh.
In Twilight, there's that fucking werewolf, right? That hooks up with the fucking baby that he raises into adulthood.
Oh God, where he puts he imposes himself on the baby or whatever.
Yes. Okay. We need the name of the baby, okay? And then we need to get fucking Chris Hansen on Cameo to talk about his favorite fictional couple, Jacob and whatever that baby's name is.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
And how he finds their initial meeting to be absolutely beautiful and romantic.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Okay.
Damn.
$50. We got to do it. We just got to figure out a way of like phrasing it right.
You have to make out a script where you can work it all out to where you can cut it up and chop it.
Well, no, you don't need to cut it up and chop it. Just get him to say the whole fucking thing.
If we get Chris Hansen to say white power, I'm making that my text tone for like the rest of my life. Chris Hansen to say white power.
Okay. All right, guys, we're done for the stream tonight.
All right, man.
Could you
Good night. It was a good stream, dude.
Thank you.
Thanks for letting me on at the end, anyways. But
anytime.
It was fun.
Take care, man. Thank you for everything.
You all have a good night.
You take care,
buddy.
man.
All right, everybody.
Thank you for the stuff, by the way. Thank you for the merch. It's great merch. Get Grim's merch.
Oh, dude, I'm glad you liked it. Did you? Which one? The mug looked amazing.
The mug is great. I just thought it was hilarious that the barcode came inside the mug. That's never happened.
Okay, before we go, let me just say, please, everybody, go subscribe to Steve DeLive's YouTube channel. Everybody, good night.